What's going on, everybody? It's the Creative Fro checking back in for another episode of Fireside Tech. I hope you enjoyed your week and are ready to learn something new, because today I'm going to be showing you how to use keyframes. Before we dive into today's tutorial, let me remind you to hit the big red subscribe button if you have yet to already, and also turn that notification bell on just for fun. So for today's tutorial, all you're going to need is a computer and an editing software program. For today, I'll be using Final Cut Pro, but you can use pretty much any platform. So what I'll do is I'll go into the computer and I'll show you a few different ways you can add keyframes on your effects to enhance your video edit. So let's jump into that creative space and get behind the computer. And I have one clip imported into this project for the examples to show today. I'll play it back one time so you can see what it's like. Now let's add some keyframes to this clip to spice it up a little bit more. So we're going to do a fade in from black, and then we're going to fade out to black. So to do this, we're going to have to make sure our playhead is at the beginning of the clip, and we're going to go up to the opacity keyframe here and click this keyframe button and set the opacity percentage to 0. Now you're going to see the image all blacked out, and we're going to move our playhead up to about right here. You can move this to wherever you'd like. But now we're going to add another keyframe and set the opacity percentage to 100. And there we have it. And we'll go on this clip. We'll go to right about here. Add another keyframe. And this time we're going to leave the opacity at 100 because we want this to fade to black. So we're going to go to the end of the clip and hit opacity again, the keyframe, set it to 0%. Now we're going to let this render out quickly and we'll see what it looks like. I've added an audio clip to the bottom of this video clip here so we can make the screen pump when the beat drops. So I'm going to play this back through right now and listen and add markers on the audio track when I want the screen to do the movement. So I'm going to play it back and just mark the audio clip here. So I'm going to select it and just play. Like there. Perfect. So now, just to make sure that these audio clips are correct, I'm going to go back and play frame by frame until I hear the actual beat drop. Make sure that's where my marker is, so we're precise. So I don't like this marker here. I'm just going to cut this one, and then I'm just going to add it right here instead. It was a little bit more forward. And then here, let's see if I like it. Perfect. Okay, so that marker is good. So now, to make the screen pump when these beats hit, we're going to go onto our marker, and we're going to go left key 3 frames. So 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, these are our frames up here. So I'm just counting these. Select our video clip. And now we're going to hit the scale all keyframe. Then we're going to leave that at 100. And then we're going to go back 3 frames over to our marker. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to set another keyframe on the scale all here on the video clip to 115% this time. And then we're going to go 3 keyframes to the right. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to add another scale all and bring this back to 100%. Now we're going to go to our second keyframe. Make sure the video is selected. 3 frames to the left. 1, 2, 3. And hit the scale all. Leave that at 100. And now we're going to come back. Make sure we're at 115%. Then just go over 1, 2, 3 and bring it back to 100. So what we should have now is 2 screen pumps happening in this one video clip. And if you want this more dramatic, you can make it scale up to 150% just to show you what that would look like for an example. Let's change it here to 150. So as you can see, that made it more dramatic. You can go less dramatic if you want it to be more subtle. That's up to you for your creative taste, and that's up to you and your creative taste and what you're trying to achieve in that video. So now that you can see how to make the screen pump, let's move on to the third example of what keyframes can do. Add a little example title here for example number 3. And what we're gonna do is put the playhead at the beginning, and I'm gonna make this title start at this size, and by the end of this clip it's gonna be larger than when it started. So we're gonna have we're gonna click the beginning of the title clip and then go over to scale all. We're gonna leave the scale all at 100%. We're gonna go to the end of the title here and scale it up to 150. So now we'll let that render out, and you can see as this clip plays back, the title will get larger. So that's a subtle way you can use keyframes to add a little bit more animation to titles. Even another example is we can make this a new compound clip. And now what we can do is, if we don't want the title to start on the screen, simply have a keyframe at the beginning here, make sure the playhead's at the start, and we're gonna hit position, so right here, and I'm gonna go on the X scale and drag this down all the way until it's off the screen. And then let's go maybe about a second or so into the clip and add another keyframe. Now we're gonna put this position to 0. So that's what it was at when it was in the middle. So we'll let that render out, and as we play this back, we're going to see the title slide in from the left into the center. And that could be something you can use if you want to add lower thirds into a video, or this can be a great way to spice up your video a little bit more too as well, by bringing in the title in from the left, sliding into the center. So there's a few examples of how you can go about using keyframes. Why don't we jump back in front of that fire and wrap this video up. And there we have it. I hope those 3 examples could help you visually understand how keyframes work, and hopefully you can use this on your next upcoming project. Please like the video if you did, comment down below if there's anything you want to see for Fireside Tech, and share this video if you think it could help somebody. I hope you enjoy your upcoming week and crush it. I can't wait to see you next Sunday back in front of this fire again. It's a Creative Fro, and I'm out.